like to start out these programs with a question. And I'll be honest with you, I already know the answer to the question. But I'm going to ask you to answer by a round of applause because, quite frankly, I just like the way it sounds when I'm standing up here. So, by a round of applause, how many of you are Beatles fans? Oh, there's one person that raises his hand instead of right? Our second question, this one's going to be a little bit harder, so listen up because not everybody can answer this question. Okay, so by a round of applause, how many of you remember the 1960s when the Beatles were together? What they say, if you can remember the 1960s, you really weren't part of it. I don't necessarily agree with that statement. I remember the 1960s quite well. The 1970s were a bit of a blur. But that's going to be another book. 79 days later was a Sunday night, February 9th, 1964. How many of you remember exactly where you were then? Right, we were all sitting on Sunday night. We were all sitting in front of the television because it was the Ed Sullivan Show. 8 o'clock, we always, on CBS, we always watched the Ed Sullivan Show. There were only 3 channels. Only 3 networks. I couldn't tell you what was on the other 2 channels because we didn't watch that. We watched Ed Sullivan. Everybody did. It was family time. We only had 1 television in the house, in the living room, in the family room. Mom, dad, brothers, sisters, everyone sat around watching Ed Sullivan. Well, on this night, February 9th, 1964, Ed came out and introduced us to the Beatles. Wow. Now, instead of me standing up here to talk about this, instead of me telling you what it's like, I'm going to show you. You know, the Beatles came out, again, nobody looked like that. We saw them on the screen. They had on their business suits that were tailored very tight. Their pants were tight. They wore high-heeled boots with pointy toes. And then their hair. The hair? Come on. No man had hair like that in 1964 except for Moe from the Three Stooges. In the 60s, you know, parents had no problem taking their kids downtown Cleveland or wherever city it was in the United States and dropping them off. Okay? Here, you got your tickets, go see the Beatles. They drop the kids off, their mom and dad, to go out to dinner, they go out to see a movie, they go to some other show. So there were over 12,000, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old kids in Public Hall with not that much parental supervision. They were on their own. So when the Beatles came on stage, the police turned around to see what's the big deal. They didn't know. Behind them was the big deal. All the kids started climbing out of the chairs. They started running down the hall. Okay, the aisles, they started running. Jane Scott told me the girls on the balcony had tied sheets together and they were coming down. By the time the police realized what was going on, they felt that they couldn't control it. They just thought it was out of control. They stopped the concert. They ran up on stage. They pushed John Lennon and George Harrison off the microphone. They stopped the show. Now, again, instead of me talking about this, I'm going to show it to you. I got film. Before I show it to you, I'm going to say, I'll tell you that the concert did go on. It was only delayed. They came back and finished the concert. I'm going to tell you that story afterwards. But I'm also going to tell you right now that because of what happened on September 15, 1964, not only were the Beatles banned from Cleveland, all rock and roll shows were banned from the city of Cleveland because of this. Mayor Ralph Locher at that time, his reason was, little girls should not behave that way in public. 1966 came around and the Beatles were going to tour again. We thought it would be an annual event, right? All of us that were Beatle fans, we thought they're going to keep coming around every year. This is great for the rest of our lives, the Beatles will tour. We didn't know at the time this was going to be it, the final Beatles tour. And when the itinerary was released, the dates and the cities, Cleveland was not on the list. So they went into City Hall to talk to him and say, look, the Beatles are just so huge. I mean, if you want to be on the map, if you want to be a city on the map, you got to bring in the Beatles. All the big cities, it's like having a Major League Baseball team, you know, an NFL football team. You got to bring the Beatles in. So they finally said, okay, yes, you can do this, but here's the deal. Now, you've seen these clips in other concert films of Beatles, like Shea Stadium. You see one kid will jump over the fence and run out in the field, right? The cops chase him, they tackle him, and kids are all screaming, going, they put him back. Here's what makes Cleveland concert again so different. One kid jumped over the railing, 3,000 followed. Yeah. Now, again, instead of me doing all this talking, I'm going to show this to you. August 14th. guys were really nice.